All right, so we covered the Southpaw EFAP issue, I hope from a not polemical standpoint. But now we're going to get to the fun stuff. And I do want to make clear that comparatively regarding the EFAP Southpaw issue, Mauler does come off less worse. However, when it comes to the broader issues, he's still a really evil scumbag. And I don't want to tone down how evil he is and how utterly hypocritical. So, what is the big issue? Well, apparently, in trying to explain why he can end the friendship with Southpaw, but maintain it with Gary Nerdrotics and Heelvsbabyface, or as he calls himself, he tried to justify it in the most ridiculous, contorted fashion possible with SK, who was trying to mediate this conflict. But let's try to hear Mauler's side of things of why there's such a big difference between the two cases.
Things that they were doing to get the heat off his back, but he didn't, without getting anything in return from either of them. Kinda screwed up to continue using that as a reason to cut ties, while somehow what Gary and Az continue to spread hasn't crossed any lines. Somehow.
I'm sorry, man. Whatever may or may not be resolved with any of the parties you just mentioned is between them. You're asking me why I have the relationships I do, and I'm telling you that 1, we do not share a relationship that would make you privy to that kind of information, and 2, that kind of information is private and personal regardless.
Okay, if that's where you want to leave things off, then whatever. Just gives little reason for me to have any kind of positive reading of the situation. Now, can you see the issue here? It's not simply that Mauler is associating with these people despite fully understanding the implications of what they're saying by his own admission. It's that his excuse is that he doesn't want to do any kind of friendship audits, yet was more than willing to burn bridges with Southpaw over a far less egregious offense, and not even mend the bridge when asked. Do you at least see how it appears off? That Southpaw's way of disagreeing with them on a TV show was seen as more damaging to maintaining a friendship than actual discrimination against a minority group, which is known to lead to suicidal thoughts.
So let me be clear. SK put this in the original video, but he decided to cut certain portions out because he felt, even though he sticks by what he said for the most part, that the tangent perhaps was distracting from the Southpaw EFAP issue. But the relevance is pretty obvious. So Mauler is saying he doesn't do friendship audits, but he did. He literally made an audit and decided he's not going to be friends with Southpaw anymore. Fine. That's his prerogative. And then SK asked the obvious question, well, wait a minute. You're ending the friendship with Southpaw. You're keeping it with Az and Neurotics, even though there's confirmed evidence that they're a bunch of bigots and they constantly, which they do, attack gay people, attack black people, attack quote, diversity, attack trans people. They just seem to have a phobic reaction to almost tons and tons of different people. Your reasoning for maintaining a relationship, which by the way is to make money and publicize your content, is because, and his solution to this question is, oh, that's all very private. That's a friendship issue. We're not friends, SK. We're not friends. I can't tell you the information. Really? Well, as SK pointed out, well, I may not be your friend, but apparently I was friendly enough to quell this whole conflict, which made you look a lot better with Southpaw, EFAP, Wolf, and Fringy. So apparently he was friendly enough to be a mediator in that conflict. So he's being a complete hypocrite there, saying, we're not really friends. Well, I mean, I'm going to use you so I can, get rid of this conflict, get back to my other content, and get back to the EFAP and the super chats. But we're not really friends. It's like, okay, you're an ungrateful piece of garbage. Oh, okay, we'll got that out of the way. And, why? Oh, that's all friendship and privacy stuff. What about the objectivity? What about objective information? What about objectivity being everywhere? Objectivity is in movies. Objectivity is in TV shows. Is there objectivity in this relationship? Oh, no, that's private. That's very friendship. That's very special. Oh, so now things are not objective. Thank you. Thank you for completely contradicting all these videos and moronic rants you do for about 20,000 hours. So you've shown yourself to be a complete hypocrite, just using and abusing people for money. And when you're being asked to be held to account, you say, well, people can say whatever they think. No, they can't be free to think what they think. You were complaining, people are calling you a liar. So you've been caught red-handed lying about 5 times, but it gets a lot worse because Mauler is very well aware of what they're up to because he's present when they go off in their weirdo tangents of hating various quote, non-white, quote, non-heterosexual people.
The demand out of it can just go fucking eat big fat, well, a small Jack Murphy dick.
Well, they automatically think that they're entitled to your respect.
They don't believe that they have to.
Yeah, they don't believe that they have to actually earn respect because they've never earned anything in their lives. They've never had to work for anything in their lives. Yeah, they just feel like they're entitled.
I'll prove you wrong, Az. I'm going to make a demand right now and you'll follow it. Breathe.
I refuse.
I think this is inherently discriminatory, and discriminating against minority groups has the potential to result in suicides amongst trans people, so I feel this kind of rhetoric is extremely dangerous just to toss around like they are. It's especially jarring when we consider that Gary has a clear "I don't care" attitude when he made his statements, which comes across as negligent of these issues trans people suffer from. And I provided statistics to prove what I said about how this can affect the mental health of trans people.
Yeah, I tend not to get anywhere near those issues because I don't know enough about them.
Now, I'll be fair, this is actually not Gary at his worst. There are worse clips, which Mauler is present for too, by the way. He's aware, very aware, when they go off in these weirdo rants, and he just sits there. And then when the time comes, he's like, oh, okay, can we go back to House of the Dragon, or Game of Thrones, or Star Wars? So wait, they've espoused pretty harsh, racist, even neo-Nazi point of view, and your, solution is to, hey, let's get back to House of the Dragon and let's get back to the super chats. That's your solution to the problem? And by the way, that's completely contradicting what you said earlier. Well, your SK, what you're asking about is very private. This is not a private forum. These are public podcasts. You're on there publicly. Your name is attached to this. They're promoting you. You're promoting them. Also, you invite Gary and Az onto the EFAP. You don't ban them from that. It's one thing to say, well, it's their channel. He really can't control their channel. He invites them to his channel. So again, the question is pretty obvious. You set up a double standard. With Southpaw, you're ending relationship because he got way emotional about the terriers. I didn't know what to do with the guy. And the other people are promoting pro-racist, pro-Nazi, and just pro-far-right conspiracy nonsense. People like Tim Pool, who are outright fascists, and your solution is, okay, can we get back to House of the Dragon? So, pro-Nazism is okay, lying is okay, double standards are okay, private information, not objective knowledge is okay, not objectivity is okay, partisanship is all okay, but I guess you're asking a very sensitive topic. When you're being asked very plainly, how do you explain this double standard, you don't even answer the question. You're just making stuff up out of nowhere. So, there we are. So, with the Southpaw issue, yeah, he's technically a moderate, but on the Heelvsbabyface neurotic issue, he is what he is. He's a complete Nazi clown and a liar and a hypocrite, and just a complete grifter, and that's what he is.
Because Mauler sent it to me last night. It was really great. Marcus. And I'm pulling the URL right now.
Mm-hmm.
This one.
Maybe check the likes and retweets and see if Southpaw is supporting this tweet like you're claiming. Earlier you said he retweeted other things that person said, who now goes by Sky Spixru. But you don't see that, and you even acknowledge that Southpaw didn't retweet that. So why is this being held against him?
So I hadn't seen this tweet. Do you want me to pull Marcus in here right now? Would you like to rip him a new one right here, right now?
What was that?
Would you like to rip Marcus a new one for this right now? Right here and right now.
Get him in the call, you mean?
If you want.
I don't really give a shit.
Okay. I don't agree with him saying this about you. I think it's shitty to bring up something that you'd said in the past that you don't stand by anymore. I think it's shitty for people to do that in general. I hadn't seen this tweet. I had seen other tweets. I hadn't seen this one. But
I mean, I honestly can't say that I believe you.
Okay.
Because you've lied before. You've lied several times.
Prove it.